Now, I covered Tom Hanks's pathetic antics on Saturday Night Live. I don't know how else to describe them. It was exceptionally unfunny, lacking in any sort of wit or intelligence or humour. And I've got to ask you, Josh, why would such a mainstream actor trash his own brand in this way? If you're going to trash your own brand and infuriate the majority of the country, then at least, I don't know, be interesting, be funny, be clever in some way. This was just lame.
It really does seem beneath the dignity of Tom Hanks, doesn't it? I mean, Tom Hanks, once upon a time, was a brilliant actor.
Maybe not.
I mean, you had maybe not at this point later in his career, but look, earlier in his career, I mean, Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, I mean, Catch Me If You Can, even the Steven Spielberg movie from the early aughts. I mean, Tom Hanks has been in a lot of classics going back 25, 30 years. Once upon a time, it's probably hard for this audience to believe. Once upon a time, Saturday Night Live here in America was actually pretty funny. I mean, once upon a time, we had people like Chris Farley. We had actually genuinely talented comedians. I mean, to this day, a lot of the great stand-up comics here in America really kind of came up through the ranks of Saturday Night Live. But it has been a very, very long time since they have attracted anything remotely resembling high caliber comic talent. I couldn't even tell you the last time that I tuned in, frankly, on a Saturday evening, and I'm particularly very pleased that I happened to miss this dreadful Tom Hanks performance.
Oh, it was just embarrassing. I was embarrassed for him watching it. That's how bad it was. Now, I love your take on Jerry Seinfeld not giving a stuff about offending the pro-Palestinian, anti-Israeli movement. Have a look at this.
Jerry, can I get a selfie? Sure. Free Palestine.
I don't care about Palestine.
That's sad.
Now, that's how you do it, Tom Hanks. If you're going to be controversial, at least, I don't know, be interesting and a little bit funny. I'd imagine Josh is copping all sorts of flack for that, but I doubt he cares.
He doesn't care, and kudos to Jerry Seinfeld for taking a righteous and correct stand on this particular issue. I mean, he was trending this direction for years. Jerry Seinfeld, many years ago, I first remember him speaking out against woke cancel culture on American college campuses. This is clearly an issue that he cares about. He visited Israel after October 7th. There was actually, he's a diehard New York Mets baseball fan. There was actually a clip of Jerry Seinfeld at a Mets game back during baseball season a few months ago here in the U.S., and they kind of zoomed in on him, and he was wearing his Mets uniform, and he said, "Let's go Mets and let's go IDF." So he's been very public about this for a while now. But this son of a what here on camera, that guy had that coming, frankly. And good for Jerry Seinfeld for not backing away in the heat of the moment there. I hope that he only doubles down from here. I think he will, actually.
I don't know if you're aware, but he did a tour of Australia last year, and there were these hecklers in the crowd, always these pro-Palestinian plants who halfway through the show would start shouting "Free Palestine" and "River to the Sea" or whatever else they were shouting. And he handled it again beautifully. He just mocked them. He went at them. He did not back away. He didn't try to appease. He didn't try to ignore them. He made them part of the show. And I thought it was really quite effective. He did that in multiple cities in Australia. Before you go, we've seen polling showing how popular Donald Trump's key policies are. We've been discussing that earlier this week. But it's not just the policies that are popular. Despite the overwhelming negative publicity the president receives, his own popularity is on the rise. This latest poll shows 55% approve of him now. That's a decent approval rating, 43% disapprove. Josh, that's a net gain of 12% for the president.
It's actually even more than that if you go back to his first term. Donald Trump spent the majority of his first term with an underwater approval rating. By the way, so did Barack Obama. So it's not like Donald Trump had anything unique. Joe Biden definitely had an underwater approval rating there. So, I mean, frankly, Americans have been so fed up with the government for so long that to have any president, frankly, with an above water approval rating there, you probably have to go back to the very early days of the Barack Obama administration before he went totally off the rails, if I had to guess. But it's been a hot minute, so to speak, there. And the reason for that is because Donald Trump leads what I like to refer to as a coalition of the common sense. It is really not a particularly partisan movement here. You have ex-Democrats like RFK Jr., like Tulsi Gabbard. It frankly is a coalition of people who are just sick of stupid crap. I'm sorry to not phrase it more artfully, but that really basically is what it is. It is a coalition of people that are sick of gender ideology. They are sick of this idea of universal values and mass migration policy there. They just want normalcy. They want basic common sense stuff. Thankfully, Donald Trump came in with a mighty vengeance in this MAGA 2.0 second term, and he is delivering oodles and oodles of good old-fashioned common sense.
Josh Hammer, thank you so much for your time tonight.